How the internet works. In this lesson, we're going to cover how the internet works, including the difference between the internet and the World Wide Web, and how website addresses work. You will need a pen and paper for this lesson. So in this lesson, we will look at distinguishing between the internet and the World Wide Web. We will describe how addresses work, and we'll look at how we can activate your Google Classroom and repl.it accounts, which you will need for the work for the remainder of this unit. We're going to start with distinguishing between the internet and the World Wide Web. Now, most of us are probably quite guilty of using the word web and internet to mean the same thing, but in fact they're actually quite different and they're not the same thing. What I want you to do now is watch the clip that we've included on Class Charts, which will explain the difference between the World Wide Web and the internet. And while you're watching this video, you need to complete the table below. So if you copy this table onto your paper now, as you're watching the videos, you need to place each of the facts into the correct column. When you have finished, you need to take a screenshot or a photo for uploading to Class Charts. If you pause the video now, you can go and complete this task. We're now going to describe how addresses work. So this is the address we use to locate a particular website. Now, web pages have a URL. This stands for Uniform Resource Locator. Now, this is used to identify information about each website, which will enable us to find it. For example, let's take the school website address shown below. Now, this has lots of parts to it, and we're going to look at each part of this web page. So first of all, HTTP. This is the protocol. Now, this is the set of rules that every website must follow. That's followed by www. This just stands for World Wide Web. Next is Hodge Hill. Now, this is the domain name, and this is followed up with the extension .bham.sch and the country .uk. Obviously, being in the UK, that's why we have .uk, but in other countries they will have their own country code. For example, France would be .fr. That's the main website address. Now we need to locate a specific page on each website, and the default page is always the index. That's the home page. So this is first of all the specific web page index and the file type. Now, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it's the programming language that we write websites in, and in fact which you will be learning later on in this course to enable you to create your own website. So now we have a task for you. What I'd like you to do is on your paper, I would like you to copy the URL below. And what you then need to do is identify each part of the URL based on the example to the left. When you are finished, you need to take a screenshot or a photo for uploading to Class Charts. You need to pause the video now to complete that task. We're now going to look at how we're going to activate a Google Classroom account and a repl.it account. Now, both of these you will need in order to access the next part of the course, which is programming in HTML. So the first thing you will need to do is visit the website classroom.google.com. You can access this from a Google Chrome browser. When you go to log in, which you will need to choose, you need to use your school login as your username. So that's your first initial, surname, and then your two numbers. And you then need to follow it up with @hodgehillcollege.co.uk. No spaces, and be careful of your spelling. The password that you're going to then enter is exactly the same as you use to log into school. Capital date of birth followed by 2 letters, one capital and then one lowercase. Now both your username and your password you should find on your passport. But if you do have difficulty remembering it or you can't find it, if you phone a school, we will get back in touch with you and we will give you that access. Once you have access Google Classroom, you can then go to repl.it, that's repl.it, and sign up. You will be able to use the Google login that you have just used to log into Google Classroom to sign up to repl. If you need any further instruction, we have included 2 videos and the link to those 2 videos that will help you access both Google Classroom and repl.